Hello, I'm going to try and do this quickly. This is hot, and I want to get this done. And so I think, and I think I'm up to part 7, which I didn't plan on there being this many parts. But it's hot, and there's a fan humming in the background, and that's just what it is. So I don't know where I ended off, where I left off, but I know I was talking about finding stuff out in the book and how it was connected. I was very excited when I figured out that there were 5 pillars or spokes that Jung organized or seemed to have created for her philosophy that's embedded in Miss McIntosh, my darling, as literary philosophy. Right? So I went all out. Like, I'm really proud, and I'm happy, and I'm really happy and proud with the way this came out. And then you know what happened? I found 5 more. And then you know what happened? I thought that was stupid. I need to put all of it in one little book. And then this happened, and I thought, wonderful, that's great. And then you know what happened? I found something else. So what we basically have, so yeah, I mean, like I said, all of this is available as free PDFs. These, I print them out for my posterity's sake for myself, and because I like playing with the making book covers. I really like that one. And I like the and, because that actually absolutely does. She is using the word and to build accumulation in order to point out, what I found out and what's going to end up being something else. She had a beef with German philosophers and a tear down of Western philosophy. So that will be interesting. That's the next chapter that I'm working on. But so you can go back and read all the different iterations until you get to these 2. Did I put the crossing point in here? Hold on, I don't even remember. I honestly don't remember. Okay. Oh, I might try to look at this through the video. Okay. No. I don't think so, and that's why I had to do this one. Which explains time in Miss Jung's Jung's concept of time, which contradicts the concept of time used in Western philosophy, which is we have a past that we could point back to and a future that we're always progressing towards, moving towards, always upwards and onwards, right? And her view of time is very different. And then this will have all the, as far as I know, there could be more. I don't know, but I'm stopping here, of the wheels or spokes of her philosophy. So this is it. It's all available as PDFs. Now, what came out of this, because were these 2, and they're workbooks. Here's Enough and the Crossing Point workbook, and I really love how I did that book cover. So what happened was, so these are not available as PDFs yet. I really would like reviews for these. So this is the only time that I've ever asked anybody to read the reviews, read this and possibly review it if you feel comfortable, however you feel comfortable. The PDFs also are in color. I mean, I can mail it out. This one just has a couple of pictures in it. This one has more pictures in it, and I do really like this one. So this was written in order to get people to, because look, okay, this is just volume 1 of the current volume that I'm reading. It's 1,200 page book, and it's going to be, I wanted to try and find a way for people to kind of work through the ideas in the book, the philosophy in the book. It's different. It's not something that's been put together before. So I really wanted to give people a way to work through it. So I did this first, and then lo and behold, there was the time part. And I went ahead and did it as 2 different ones, because the time is really another way of looking at stuff. It's different. But anyways, if you are at all interested in reviewing both or one of these, let me know and I will be happy to send it to you. Like I said, these two these two I'm looking for reviews or feedback on them. I mean, I know, but it's because I've lived this for 7 years, but I was trying to make it digestible for someone new coming to it, if they could pick up on the philosophy. So there's that. Also, I have to apologize because I am confused, which is not unusual. And I'm confused between the roles of Dalkey Archive, Deep Vellum, and then I think like Mr. Post is with Dalkey Archive, and then he also does like 3%, and they're doing the big book project. So I don't know if they're like involved in promoting Miss Backstrom. I'm confused. I'm honestly confused. But I exchanged very nice emails with Will Evans from Deep Vellum. So I apologize for anything I've said. He's actually very, very nice. I was the one who was confused and didn't know who was doing what where, but he was very, very nice. We've exchanged emails. I hope to talk to him again soon because of what else is going on. Something else. The new, and I'm going to say the last thing. Oh my word, it better be the last thing. Good gracious. That's going on. So, okay, so here's the two things that are happening now. I am doing the Read Along 2026. I think the first video is going to go out this Wednesday. And then you're going to have to give me until chapter 3 or 4 before I find my groove in making the videos. I'm trying to do it in a video format that goes through it. Something easy, something that you can go through, picking out stuff. I am incorporating A Guide to Reading Miss Macintosh, My Darling, available as free PDF, and the new one, The Wheel and the Spokes. This has all 11 pillars that I've been able to discern so far, and this has everything in it. This is also available as a free PDF, but I really love what I did on the color here. These two are my favorite covers that I've done. This one and this one. But I love playing with the images and stuff and making the covers. Okay, so that is one whole thing. But get this. What happened? Oh, okay. So there's a Miss B on Substack, and they posted something about Play-Doh, and Play-Doh is in here. So let me get this straight. Let me set this straight. Try and make it as clear as I can. Like I said, she has philosophers in here. She has philosophy in here, and based on my take of Anatole France's Garden of Epicurus and Plato's Symposium, I thought she was having a conversation with these philosophers, and that's still probably the case. Like, she's still having a conversation. Well, okay. It's okay. It's a conversation, but she's having a conversation with these philosophers, but I also know it's not, at the very, very beginning of when I started this, I thought she was pulling together, especially like Heraclitus, I thought she was pulling together these different philosophers or parts of these different philosophies to a blend that would elucidate her own. Okay? Hopefully I'm saying this right. I thought, so, yeah. And then, especially after all the work on this, I realized this is her own philosophy. And so I've been digging into, like, there's influences, there's definitely people, I have a list of people in the back of this that are in conversation with her. And I've tried to contact the academics behind this. And I had one very nice professor contact me and exchange a couple of emails. Very, very nice lady. She's one of the only ones that has talked to me, and I realized, yeah, there's a whole reason. And then I realized, no, her philosophy is separate. She's bringing different people, and not the people I thought. Like, so why are Plato and Schopenhauer and Nietzsche and why are they in here? When I found out from doing this, excuse me, my voice is going. This is why you won't hear me doing any more talking after this is done. Because my voice just won't keep up. So there are, I know I have a list here of the people that are in conversation, that she's brought into conversation because of her philosophy. And I have a list, and of course I can't find it, but it's in here. So, and they're not anybody that's in here. So, okay, so I'm on Substack. Miss B, okay, but I did figure out something. So I thought, is it adversarial? And I wondered, because I know Allegory of the Cave, I know the Symposium is in there. Like, I know those things are in there. The arrows, the Ladder of Love. I know those things are referenced in the book, but I don't know why. And so I'm thinking, but I don't know it's not that she's in agreement with them. So, okay, I do know this. I know they're in here, and I know she's disagreeing with it, but I don't know how, I don't know why. So I see a thing on Substack. I'll go on and I'll see people posting stuff, and I'll restack it with my own note. So I'm not trying to take over the conversation. This is a restack to people who follow me. I mean, the person I restack is tagged, but it doesn't show up to whoever they're following. I figure that's, if you're going to kind of play that game, that's better than leaving a message directly on their comment, because you're coming out of left field. So I get it. So I restack it instead. So I restacked this thing as they were going on about Plato, and I know there's something there. Like, got problems with, okay, I know Plato's like Western philosophy. Oh my gosh. And trust me, I was emphatically told he's 2,000 years old. He's a god. So I get it, but I also know, no. So, they were talking about AI, and I've been working on the Substack series, it's not out yet, about AI not asking the right questions. And so I know there's a problem with Plato, but I also don't know how to, like, emphatically say. But hey, this is why I would reach out to other people smarter than me and say, hey, I'm working on this. I know this is in here. You want to talk about it? But anyway, so I restacked her comment that they were studying Plato. And I was just mentioning, again, there are people that follow me and saying, hey, why study Plato when you could, like, pretty sure everything's been written about him, I don't know, and study a 60-year-old philosophy that nobody ever studied or looked at, that directly, okay, I know the Radical Eminence directly challenges authoritarianism. Absolutely. I didn't realize until after this spat that I had that how much. So I restacked it and made that quote, like, why study Plato when you could study Young? so Miss B contacted. So Miss B at first liked the comment, and then came back very quickly with, Plato's a god. He's been studied for 2,000 years. Why would I waste my time with anyone else? And I thought, you're from the same universe. So I went and checked out who she is. My bad. And I was like, Young's papers are in the Beineck Library where you go to school, or where you graduated from school. We both have the same level of degrees. So I thought I gave two very informative, intelligent answers to this, Miss B. And then I, of course, turned it into a post, because that's how I roll. And then I did another one because I was just going to be snarky. I was going to be a snarky biatch, because I just was. Because again, the arrogance. It was like she came out swinging with a bat going, not today, peasant. I was just like, oh, I don't think so. If you don't think we hate elites as is, this is a really big reason why. Okay. So then I go back and think about it. And then and then I'm on chapter 3, right? And I'm doing the read along. So I open chapter 3. Wait, I gotta back up, because I'm already almost at the end of chapter 3, which is a pretty long chapter. And I got this, the very first thing. And I'm like, this is it. Confusions innumerable in mother's life, that opium paradise from which I had escaped. For all those adults were like the shadows of grotesque puppets dancing on a wall. And there was only then, after all, to leave the bewildered child with her own dark problems of that childhood which groped toward light, one who could be trusted not to change her mind or her moral principles, one guide who seemed quite sure of herself, if of no other being and no other body, Miss Mackintosh, my darling, truer than the North Star. Son of a gun. So then I go, oh my gosh, Miss Mackintosh is Plato's philosopher. Miss Mackintosh is the setup for deconstructing Plato. Okay. And then I took off. And all weekend I have been working on this. I'm still working on it. It's going to come out. It's going to come out because it's so good. So, yeah. Jung had a beef with the foundation of Western philosophy and German philosophers in particular. Why? Because she went through, the Great Depression, World War One, the Great Depression, World War Two, McCarthyism, the Holocaust, fascism, the atomic bomb, right to 1965, with all of those, with the civil rights and all the violence that was going on then, the Voting Rights Act, which our Supreme Court has got it because of course they did. Yeah, she had a beef with all of that because she saw all the destruction behind fascism, authoritarianism, totalitarianism, dictators, but all of it. And then it all clicked. And it was like, oh, son of a gun, that is what she's doing. Miss Mackintosh herself is the philosopher king that comes in and tells you, don't worry, you don't need to think. I have all the information you are ever going to need. You don't need to do anything but exactly what I tell you to do because there is a true point. And Miss Mackintosh dies at the beginning of the novel. She's already dead at the beginning of the novel. She's already gone. And the rest, and then Varag sees her for what she is, meaning Plato and the foundations of Western philosophy are all a construction. And that construction hasn't gotten us anywhere, or it has, but it's led to fascism, authoritarianism, totalitarianism, all kinds of colonialism, like it would be the whole gamut. So, and then the rest of the book, the entire rest of the book is that what do you do when that hub of something that you took to be true is false? And what happens is you keep going. The wheel keeps turning. The spokes keep moving. You or her, and I'll get into it. I did in the Deep Architecture of Miss Mackintosh, but I'm going back into it again with this new one that I'm working on, is because her reimagining of Boethius's Wheel of Fortune to be you. You are on the wheel. You are on the wheel working through this horizontal time of accumulation, and then eventually you will be this vertical time of the history that you came from and what you are leaving in as a deposit for the not yet born. And you are the crossing point, the access of those two things going round and round. And the grief that is involved when you lose your concept of what you thought was real. So then when that happened, I had to go back to Miss B, and I did genuinely thank her. And I said, thank you, friction. So this is the problem I have with the ivory towers and all of this stuff. They have greased themselves like pigs so that you can't get a hold of them. You can't challenge them. There are no new ideas coming out of anything. We are just being fed this continuous propaganda. I'm not saying it, I'm not saying like they meant to, but I'm saying you build your career, and we're talking 20, 30, 40, 50 years. They have tenure, and you do this, and they're in Ivy League schools, and they do this over a long period of time, and then they're never going to question it. They're never going to question what they've done or if it's wrong. They're never going to question it. Why would they? That hub, that reality for them is just concrete. Like there's no touching it, and they won't allow anyone to touch it because like she's not even like she's part of it, and she's a poet. And I was like, but Plato would have banned. He wanted to ban poets, women and domestic, any, come on. So, so anyways, but I did go back and thank her, very much so, uh, because that friction, which is what we need. I'm talking about the right kind of friction. I'm not talking about something that sets it on fire, but it lets it smolder. The idea that somebody comes to you with something, a different view, and you have to go, oh, well, so that friction is what spurred that friction with her. And then coming back and reading those first lines of chapter 3 are what just blew my mind open. So I'm very excited to be working on it. It's going to be super powerful. I'm hoping it's going to come out either way. Either it gets published or it's going to definitely go out in Substack. It's definitely going to be a free PDF. Don't worry, I'm not keeping this stuff to myself. So that's really exciting. So 2 things, and only 2 things going forward. And then, oh my word, I'm hoping that I can stop. Like, I don't mind reading the book again. I came up with this, and not came up with it, but I explored this, and it just, like, I'm going to read it with this new information. Then I have this other coming on top of it. Like, the next read is even going to be even better. The next read through of this book is going to be even better. I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to do, I'm not. This is probably the last read through that I'll do, because between this and this, there's more. You're going to get more than enough. You're going to get more than enough. But, yeah, I'm hoping that will be, we'll put an end. We'll put an end to me. Oh, yes, to me working on this, because you can't have just one voice working on something. Like I said, you need that friction. You need that rubbing against something to make some new ideas. So I'm very excited. I hope it's okay. Yeah, she's on Substack. Andy Blaine is on Substack. You need to go follow her. She's the official biographer of Marguerite Young. She's working on it. And so for the second time, I've decided I will not be going to Beinecke Library. Beineck Library. I don't know how to say it. I had thought about it in the summer, because there's ways to do it and everything. And then Andy Blaine, who I've gotten to talk to, she's an absolute sweetheart. I'm hoping to meet up with her in New York City, because I'm hoping to walk down Bleecker Street and see where Marguerite Young used to live. I'll definitely post a picture if I do. She's the official biographer. I got to talk to her, very excited. And I thought, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I've done enough work. She's the younger generation. It needs to be passed on to somebody. I need to stop. Not stop reading this, because I cannot tell you enough how much Jung's philosophy has absolutely changed my life. Absolutely. For the better, for the best. This is the best way to explain what I've always felt but had no language to express. So I love Marguerite Young. Oh my gosh, when I pass, I hope I get to meet her. I hope there's somewhere where we can meet up and I can talk to her and I can gush, and just absolute gush about the genius that she is, because this philosophy changed my life. Like, she did it. She did it. Oh, sorry. That's the workbook. Yeah, sorry. It's these 2. Yeah. So, but my time is done. Like, my voice is giving out. My hands don't type well. Like, it's all a mess. I'm getting old. So, Andy Blaine's going to take that over. And again, but I had written a proposal, because the first time I wanted to go to Beinecke Library and I got sick, I also didn't have a good plan. Like, I wasn't going to go. I wasn't going to be able to go. And I didn't have a good plan. So I have a good plan, or I developed a good plan. And then I thought, you know what? I'm too old. I'm done. I don't need to do this. And Andy Blaine, and I kind of talked with her, and I said, you know what? You're the younger generation. You pick this up. How about I give you everything? Like, not that it wasn't available anyways as PDFs, but I said, hey, this is her philosophy. You run with it. Like, the thing that you can do is go back to her papers, because you have an idea now. Go back to her papers and find out, was she talking about her philosophy to anyone? Did she develop this in her writing, or is it in her writing, in Miss Macintosh, My Darling? anywhere. Like that's like the Holy Grail. And she's young. She's been, oh, that was the other thing that happened. She posted a picture that she took, a gorgeous picture of Margaret Young typing at her desk. And I noticed it was from the By Neck Library. And I thought, oh, she's been there. She knows. So I was so happy after I saw that. And I said, you know what? She's the one. So I have given all my information to her. And I said, you know, you just got to go to her papers, like confirm it. And that's a whole other huge thing that would validate what she did. I can't do that. But what I can do, and what I did do, was I went through the book and found her philosophy there. And so that's what this is. So this is a guide. It still has pieces of the philosophy, but it's more of a reader's guide. I really like it. I think it reads really easy. It's not overwhelming like the other two editions that I've done. So I'm real happy with this one. But this one specifically talks about the philosophy within each chapter. So this is what I could do. I'm not traveling anymore. This is what I can do. I can go through the book and see if the philosophy is in the book, but confirmation and really solidifying it. I'm hoping Andy will be able to go and I would paw through her stuff like a stalker, but Andy will be more professional, and she will go through her stuff and prove that her philosophy was there. And it's a philosophy that we desperately need right now, right? Like we desperately need. Why is it raising its head yet again? And I know why now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, because of Jung's philosophy and how she was fighting it back then. Back in 1945 when she started it, I knew she was fighting it then. And she was fighting it in the way I think is probably more important and harder than any other way there is. Because it's not with an army. It's not through war. It's not through subversion or anything like that. She's just showing you how you can train your mind so that you don't fall for this. You don't fall for a cult. You don't fall for an abusive religion. You don't fall for abusive relationship. You don't fall for abusive government. You don't fall for these authoritative figures in your life. She specifically wrote it for politics. I've just expanded it to everything else because why not? And she specifically addressed it. This is how you train your mind not to fall for it. And she not only does that like, oh, just get over it. She doesn't. She treats it as the grief that it is, that you believed in something real and it turned out it was an illusion. It turned out that it was made of sand. And that grief will be there. But you know what? You're going to continue to go on. And these are the things you can do to survive being in it, and even to still find joy in living with her, through her philosophy. And I can say absolutely from personal experience, that is true. That is true. She was a genius. This is not me. This is just me who was stubborn and hurt my pride that I could not figure out a book when the one thing in my life I know I've been good at is reading a mofo book. Like it's the one thing in my life I was good at. So yeah. So this is not me. This is me working through all of my ignorance in order to get to the genius that she is. And was. So, all right. That wraps up my timeline and what I've been doing and the two last projects that I can see myself doing. And you know what? I'm just going to go live. This philosophy has given me new lease on life, a new way of seeing myself that was always there. I just took the blinders off. So anyways, thank you for following this timeline. I made it because I just figured it would be important at some point. I have no idea if it will or not. Who knows? If I remembered, if I remembered or not, I don't care. So it's fine. But honestly, this is yeah, but you do buy this through Dalkey Archive. I do. Somebody explained the relationship between Deep Vellum, Dalkey Archive, the Big Book Project, 3%. Like, somebody explained it to me because I honestly don't get it. But the ebook is only $10. Go buy this. Read a couple pages at a time. You can buy this book or download it as a PDF. You can buy this book or download it as a PDF to go with it. This will change your life. I'm serious. I couldn't be more serious about anything else on my child's life, who's my most precious jewel in my life. I swear to you, it is worth it. It is worth it to train your mind. It's so worth it. Okay. Thank you so much if you've watched any of this timeline. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to the crazy lady. All right. Enjoy. Join the read along. The videos will be up. You can jump in at any time. It's on a playlist, and I won't do another video about the other the tearing down the architecture of tentative title. Oh yeah, tentative title is Architecture of Illusion, Marguerite Young's Radical Deconstruction of Western Metaphysics and the Democratic Imperative in Miss Mackintosh, My Darling. That's the tentative title. We shall see. But it'll definitely be, I won't make a video about it, but it will definitely be out and announced and, going somewhere. All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy your reading. Enjoy your life. Goodness. Bye.